Because telephone, that is also a azab which is disturbing you. So the purpose of i'tikaf is to focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Focus on your deen. Focus on your death and qabr. And focus on the day of judgment and your accountability. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he fasted 9 Ramadan. Because Ramadan became farz when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was migrated to Medina. The second year it became farz. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he fasted 9 times in Ramadan. And every time he did i'tikaf. And the last year, he did it for 20 days. Abu Bakr Raziyallahu Ta'ala picked up the bottom line that these extra 10 days are for the coming year. Because Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will not be amongst us next year in Ramadan. So now, when Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam never missed it, so it has become sunnat muakkad. But like farz, as we have 2 types of farz. One is called farz ain, like our prayer 5 times a day. That is individual responsibility of everyone to perform his prayer. And there is another farz and mandatory ibadah. But that is collective responsibility of ummah and community, which is called the janazah. So janazah of a dead Muslim is also farz, but that is alal kifaya. Kifaya means to suffice. So if some of the community, they will go and perform janazah, so others became free from that fariza. But if none of them did it, so all of them, they have committed sin. So now i'tikaf, that is sunnat muakkad, but alal kifaya. Muakkad in a sense that Prophet ﷺ never missed it. And alal kifaya means that some people should do it. So as our brother, they are doing it on and off. Because here the situation is little bit tight. But Brother Jamil is doing the whole thing. So this is called sunnat muakkad alal kifaya. So what you are doing? The only thing is retreat. Not to get involved in worldly business and worldly attachment. And for sure, when you are staying in masjid, so whole day and night you will not be sleeping or eating, because eating is not there, you are with fasting. So in the same way, the whole night and day you will not be sleeping. You will be either reciting Quran, or you will be saying La ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah, or you will be praying nafal. Yes, you will sleep as well. But retreat is must. Not to get involved in worldly attachment when you are in i'tikaf. And what is the purpose of i'tikaf? Purpose of i'tikaf is sanctification. To retreat yourself from world and worldly attachment that is not known only in Islam. From day one, the humans, they are doing that in their own culture and religion as well. Like as we the Afghan, we call that retreat camping. So we are going to Yosemite, or we are going somewhere to a desert, or somewhere to mountains, to get disconnected from this hue and cry of this busy life. But here the case is that you are retreating to the house of Allah, to masjid. And Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he ordered Ibrahim to build up his house in Mecca. So there 3 things are mentioned. Number 1, لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْعَاكِفِينَ وَالرُّكَّعِ السُّجُودِ. Build it up for those who will be going to make tawaf Number 2, those who will be going to do i'tikaf. And number 3, those who will be going to pray their prayer and salat. And in a hadith narrated by Imam Bayhaqi, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, Inna Allah yunzilu ala baytihi mi'atan wa ishreen rahma fi kulli yawmin wa layla. Every day and night Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending down 120 types of mercies and kindnesses. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, Sittina liman yatuf, 60 for those who are doing tawaf there. Wa arba'ina liman yusalli, 40 are for those who are praying there. Wa ishrina liman yakufun, and 20 for those who are doing i'tikaf there. And i'tikaf, the sunnat muakkad one, that is in Ramadan in the last 10 days and night. But nafal i'tikaf, whenever you are entering masjid, we are giving fatwa based on the mazhab of Imam Muhammad rahmatullahi alayh, that just make the intention of i'tikaf, that I am entering masjid for i'tikaf, and especially when you are in Haramain. So when you are going to Masjid Haram or Masjid Nabawi, so make your i'tikaf. So anyhow, my dear respected brothers, that is to sanctify your inner side, because day and night we are involved in dollars, in worldly attachment, in worldly mean businesses. And what is world and what is mada? All these things are matter, and matter is a filth. So your heart is full of filth. Barzuba tasbih bar dil gao khar, inchuni tasbih ke darad asar. We are sitting in masjid, but still we are thinking of gao khar. Yes, like the basgaran. If you are not the basgar and the farmer, you will be thinking of your business, even your sajda. So what type of ibadah that is? Retreat yourself when you are doing ibadah. Got it? Say. Ke sabha bar kaf, wa toba bar lab, wa dil pura zoke gunah. Maghfirat ra khandami ayat ze istighfar ma. Hafiz Shirazi said that you have tasbih in your hand, sabha bar kaf, and apparently you utter, oh Allah, astaghfirullah, tawbah on your tongue, sabha bar kaf, tawbah bar lab, dil pura soke guna, but in your heart that is full of filth. So maghfirat ra khandami ayat ze istighfar ma. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in a hadith, in a hadith, that qalbul mu'min arshur rahman, the heart of a mu'min, that is the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With arsh, Allah has a connection, or tight connection. So it means that the heart of a mu'min must be a place of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as you know, that any person who is neat and clean, he is sitting in a dirty place? No. Say. No. Loudly. No. He is not, it doesn't like to enter to a dirty place. So what about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? In a hadith Qudsi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ma wasa'ani arzi wala samai. The earth couldn't accommodate me, nor my heavens accommodated me. Bal wasa'ani qalbul mu'min. But the heart of a mu'min accommodated me. It means that I took place there. These are metaphorical uses by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make your heart neat and clean. Mawla Rum said, Ke chishm band, wa gosh bando labbe band. Close your eyes and close your ears and hold your tongue. Yes? Chishma band, wa gosh band, wa labbe band. Garnabini nur haq barman bikhand. If at that time, if you will focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will not get the light of Allah, He said, then make a fun of me. But how you will see Allah or the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you have connection to different things. Oh, honey, and the kids, and the business, and the job, and the car, and the shop, and this, and that. So how? You are not getting connected, you are a disturbed guy. So a disturbed one, he will never get in touch with Allah. So i'tikaf is for the said purpose, to focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, who can do i'tikaf? So number one, for sure, a Muslim. Number two, for sure, a aqil, a sane person. And number three, that must be in a masjid. If there is a musalla where 5 times prayer is not taking place, sunnah i'tikaf is not done there. 5 time prayer, that must be taking place there. So it means that in 5 times that's open. If people are not there, that is something else. But that is open for people. If they are coming here to perform their prayer. So 5 prayers are taking place. Because Jama'at are praying with Jama'at. That is Sunnat Muakkad as well. So, but the 3 Imams, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, and Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahimahumullah, they are of the view not only 5 prayer, Salat Jummah must be taking place there as well. Because in their time, or we can say up to 100 before, every masjid was not praying Salat Jummah. In a big city, 2-3 masajid were there, or even they were praying in one masjid. People from all around, they were getting together and they were praying their Salat Jummah in one place. Later on, it started in every masjid. So Imam Malik, Shafi, and Ahmad rahimahumullah, they are of the view that Salat Jummah must be taking place there in that masjid as well. Because in i'tikaf, you should not go out of masjid. You must be inside masjid. Yes, the fuqaha at that time, they have mentioned illa liqada al-haja, because the bathrooms were not available there in masjid at that time. Yes, so to fulfill your natural call, one has to go out to the farms. So for that they allowed, but he should go only for that job and come back, and not to waste his time outside masjid. So here the 3 Imams, they are of the view that Salat Jummah must be taking place there. But Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayh says, if Salat Jummah is not taking place in that masjid, still that is allowed for mu'takif, that he can go out to go to other masjid where the Salat Jummah is taking place. And number 4, the niyat and intention, that's another requisite. And number 5, that the fasting, and of course we are fasting. And number 6, if our sister is doing that, so she should not be in haiz or nifas. And if a brother is doing that, so they should not be in junabat. And number 7, al-ishtighalu bil-ibadah. So ishtighal bil-ibadah mean to get involved in ibadah as much as he can. At least he should not be involved in things other than ibadah. So his sitting there or sleeping there would be considered ibadah as well. So if somebody will go out of masjid where he is doing i'tikaf without any shar'i reason, so it will nullify his i'tikaf. So that's why it is not allowed for him that he will go outside. And another hikmah of i'tikaf is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has blessed a night which is a valuable night, or the much more or extremely valuable night, which is called the Laylatul Qadr. Mostly we translate it night of power, but the proper meaning is a night of value, very precious and very valuable night. As I mentioned in hadith of Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu ta'ala an, that shahrun fihi laylatun khairun min alf shahr, that is a month where there in that month there is a night ibadah in that night is better than ibadah of 1,000 months in value. Got it? In what? Not in count. So if somebody will do ibadah on that night and he will say that now for 1,000 months I am free, I should not do it. It doesn't mean anything. No. Laylatul Qadr khairun min alf shahr. And that is mentioned there in the ayah of Surah Al-Qadr as well. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said that utlubu laylat al-qadr fil ashr al-awakhir min Ramadan, that look for laylatul qadr in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Utlubu laylat al-qadr fil ashr al-awakhir min Ramadan. And mostly it happens in odd nights. Whose odd night? Whosoever is fasting. It doesn't mean that the odd night there in Saudi Arabia is for their prayer, there is their times. For our prayer, there is our time. For their fasting, there is their month. For us, there is our month. Depend on moon sighting. So anyhow, whatever the odd night, because look at me, that the qaza of qazi or the decision of authority, it actually legitimizes the Sharia rules. And that's why if somebody, he sighted the moon and he came to qazi and he testified that I have seen the moon, but qazi rejected his shahadat and his testimony for reason. Got it? So nobody is committing a sin if they are not fasting for tomorrow. But the guy concerned, if he is sure that he has seen the moon, so as فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ, he is bound to do his fasting. He cannot take a plea that, oh, the qazi rejected my testimony, so I should not. Yes, that is, if he did not, so he will make only one qaza. For him there is no kafara, because that fasting of that day for the guy, that is not that strict as if the qazi accepted his testimony and he would have decreed accordingly. If the qazi would have decreed accordingly and then the guy concerned, he did not fast, then he will pay the kafara. But here the qazi rejected his testimony, but as he has cited, so he will fast. If he did not, so for him there is only qaza and no kafara. And number two, that when the qazi, he accepted the shahada of a person and he decreed accordingly, so the entire ummah is bound to do fasting on that very day. Nobody has any right to reject the decree of the qazi. Otherwise, that will be making a mess. That will be a turmoil in deen. You are picking up what I'm saying? Yes. It is not going over your head? Yes. So anyhow, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he did i'tikaf all 9 years and he made it sunnat muakkad for all the Muslims. And Abu Sayyid Khudri raziyallahu ta'ala an, he narrated that hadith. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he says in a hadith that if somebody missed i'tikaf, but somebody comes to him or came to him, he had some of his haja and need and necessity, and he went with him to get his necessity. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, as far as reward is concerned, he will be getting a reward of 10 i'tikaf, because most of the people, they cannot do it. So easy for you is, if somebody asks you for some need to go with, so just go with, you will be getting the i'tikaf. Even in i'tikaf, but that is not mazhab, but anyhow that was the practice of Abdullah ibn Abbas raziyallahu ta'ala an. He did it once. He was in i'tikaf in Masjid Nabawi, and somebody came to him. He read his face that the guy concerned, he has some problem. He said, what's going on? Yes, I read your face. Something wrong is going on. He said, Imam, what can I tell you? He said, what? He said that I got some qarz hasana from Mr. So-and-so, and I promised him to pay him tomorrow. But the money which I was expecting, that is not coming tomorrow. I am very much ashamed of how to approach that guy. And that was a matter of ghaira. At that time, people had ghaira. Yes, that I am very much ashamed of that how tomorrow will come, how I will face that man. How can I tell him that, sorry, if you can do me a little bit more favor for a few more days. Yes, and as you know, that he is your disciple and he is a fan of you. So, he is in love with you. So I was thinking, if you will tell him. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala an, right away, he stood up with him and he said, let's go. So he went out of masjid and went there to that man. And the moment the man saw Ibn Abbas with the one to whom who was owing him the money to pay it back, so he said, yes, ala yusri, when he can pay it. Now Ibn Abbas has not opened his mouth, but the man, he picked at the bottom line. Say, why this man brought my sheikh here? So he said, ala yusri, yeah Imam, whenever he can do it, so he can pay it. So the guy said, now my burden was gone. I came back to my sense. And I said that, Imam, you were in itikaf. You were, because in such like situation, if somebody is forced by his dhamir and conscience, at that time he is not thinking that I should not take him with me because he is sitting in itikaf. Yes, because that dhamir forcing and conscious forcing was much more powerful that he never thought of that. But now, when the pressure was gone, so he said, Imam, but you were in itikaf. He said, of course I was in itikaf. He said, so what about that? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't say that you should not go out of masjid. So he referred to this other hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if somebody will go with his brother to get his need fulfilled, that is better for him for 10-year itikaf. So I was keeping that hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said that this itikaf, I will do it next year in Ramadan. I will make it qaza. That is my intention. But anyhow, your problem was much more needed because you were in difficulty. And as you know, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, that mostly the Muslims, they are paying their zakat in the month of Ramadan. Even though you can fix any month for your zakat, but mostly they are doing it because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, وَمَنْ أَدَّى فِيهِ فَرِيزَةً كَانَ كَمَنْ أَدَّى سَبْعِينَ فَرِيزَةً فِي مَا سِوَى. And whosoever will perform a farz ibadah in the month of Ramadan, so that will be multiplied by 70 or 70 times. So anyhow, that's why the Muslims, they are paying their zakat in the month of Ramadan. But once you fixed a date of Ramadan for your zakat payment or calculation, so then you cannot change that date. That is your calendar date, like your birthday every year. Yes. Even though in Islam there is no birthday celebration, but as we are doing it as a cultural thing, so you are, for example, if somebody is born on 30th of December, so every year he is celebrating his date of birth on 30th, or sometime 1st December, or sometime 10th December, or sometime 15th. Say the same 30th. So this is just like your birth date. When you fix the date, then you have to calculate your zakat on that date. Now, payment before date or after date, that is allowed or not. So if there is reason, so you can delay the payment. For example, you calculated your zakat on the due date. Also, this year I have to pay $1,000. Yes, but you were planning to go back home to Afghanistan, to Pakistan, to Bangladesh, to India, or any African country, as you know that their situation is very bad. So you want to help people there with that money. So you can delay it, but delay should not be that much. And as far as prior payment or advance payment is concerned, So Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi says that if the month concerned started like the month of Ramadan where you are calculating your zakat, so he said that in that month payment before due date, that is allowed, but not too much ahead of time, because yet it has not become due on you. But Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayh, he said, and to tell you one thing, that all three schools of thoughts, they are following in this case the mazhab of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayh. Imam Abu Hanifa says that zakat is becoming due because of two reasons. One is called nisab. One is called nisab, that you are the owner of nisab, a fixed amount which Sharia has mentioned. That is one reason. And the second reason is the due date. So if one of them happened there, so you can pay your zakat before the due date. And he said that the philosophy or the wisdom in zakat is to fulfill the needs of those who are in need of. So they will be in need of your help today, and you will tell them that come to me after 15 days because my due date is coming 15 days later. So if he does not have the food until that day, so let him die, and then he will come once again revived, and you will give him zakat or what? So Imam rahmatullahi alayhi says that payment before due date, that is allowed. So whenever you want to help people, and you know that you are sahib in nisab and you will be paying zakat, but due date is not there, so just give your zakat before time to the people concerned to fulfill their needs and their necessities. And now, as you know, that zakat, that is 2.5% not of your income, but of your, say, savings, loudly. Savings. And the same for tonight, you should bring that zakat pamphlet if you can do it. So I have written an article on that, and we were a little bit delayed, but anyhow he will print it tonight and he will bring it, so then you will have it. All the rules of zakat are mentioned there, but in brief, that what type of your wealth is zakatable. So number one, cash in hand, and number two, in banks or bank account, and number three, your 401k plan or pension plan. Got it? And whatever is there as far as your job is concerned, that is up to you. Somebody said, oh, we do not know that how much we have. I said, that's your duty to find out. Yes, and because that is your money, you will be taking it, if not today, 20 years later. So that is just like the loan you have given to someone, yes, and he is not paying you yet, but that is your money or that is not? Say, yes. Or you have dropped it? Say, no. No, that's your money. So that is there like your bank account in your bank. Bank account is also, that is a type of loan you have given to the bank. That is something else, that the moment you will ask the bank to pay you, they will pay you. And the person concerned, he will not be having it, that's why he's not paying you. Otherwise, case is one and the same. Got it? So that is the, yes, if you say that now I cannot pay the zakat of that loan I have given to Mr. So-and-so, so just wait. But later on when he will pay you, yes, so for how many years that was in his hand, you are bound to pay zakat of all those past years. Got it? At once. So anyhow, number one, cash in hand. Number two, the pension plan. And number three, the bank account. Number four, the inventories. If you are in business and you have inventories, so that inventory is your saving. Yes, when you will calculate all together all these things, and let's say the jewelry also. Yes, so now when you club together all these things, but you owe some loan to people as well, you are bound to pay. Yes, so you should minus it from that amount. Got it? For example, your zakat which was due on you, that became $20,000. How much? $20,000, but you have to pay $10,000 loan to the people. But this loan doesn't mean the loan you have taken for your house. Yeah, that is not considered loan in that sense. Otherwise, there is nobody to pay zakat, because everybody is under loan in this regard. Is or not?
Yes.
Say loudly. Then all of you are fuqara. You should go and ask for zakat. People will give you. So anyhow, my dear respected brother, the loan which you are to pay as soon as possible. So now, if you owe some money to some people, so negate that from that amount. So now you will be bound to pay zakat of $10,000 only. And respected brothers and sisters in Islam, as far as the property is concerned, if you are in property business, so then that is your inventory. Whatever the price is, you have to pay for. But if you have the properties and you are renting it, so renting is your income. And from that income, along with your other income, whatever you have saved in the end of year, so then you will be paying zakat for that amount as well. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, La salata liman lam yu'addi zakat. For zakat, mostly we are looking for excuses. Or for ibadah, don't look for excuses. You have not seen people, they are hand to mouth. Allah has blessed you, so you are playing game with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, وَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَهُوَ خَيْرُ اللَّهِ. Whosoever will do more good, so that is better for him. And another thing, in the month of Ramadan, that is the fidya. Fidya of what? Fidya of the fasting. But that is for whom? For two types of people keep in view. Number one, age-wise, we call him Sheikh Fani. The fuqaha, they call him Sheikh Fani. On that stage of age where the person will never go back to his youth, that he will become once again strong and he will do fasting. So that is called Sheikh Fani. And number two, someone who is suffering from chronic untreatable disease. So even though if he is young, but he is suffering from kidney problem, yes, so now he cannot fast. So he is to be treated like the one who is Sheikh Fani. So his case is like that of Sheikh Fani. So for every day, he must pay what fidya. And what is fidya? So Tarijan has put the box there. Yes, one fidya for this year, we fixed it $15. How much? $15. So that will be a fidya for one day he has not fasted. How many days he did not fast? 29 or 30. So he will multiply that. But that must be paid to those who are eligible for zakat. Who are eligible. And of course, Sadaqatul Fitr is there. So Sadaqatul Fitr, once again, Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi says, you cannot pay it before the month of Ramadan. But according to Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, you can pay it any time before Eid al-Fitr when the people are in need of light zakat. So you can pay it with the intention of Sadaqatul Fitr, because the wisdom is to fulfill the needs of people. So Sadaqatul Fitr, that is also wajib in Sharia. And why that is, Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says, like as we make some mistake in our prayer, so then we are doing sajda sahw. So same is the case of our means our fasting, that we are making lot of mistakes in our fasting as well. So it needs a jabira or a bandage to get the wound okay. So there the wound in prayer is becoming okay with your sajda sahw. So here it will become okay with your sadaqatul fitr. Now sadaqatul fitr, who is bound to pay? The one who can afford? A common sense. And that is the mazhab of Abu Hanifa. While Jumhur, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi and Ahmad ibn Hanbal, they say that everybody who fasted, so he is bound to pay sadaqatul fitr. He is bound, because they say the sahwa for everyone who is praying and he made a mistake there in prayer. But we say that is not totally like sajda sahwa. To some extent that is like sajda sahwa. But for sadaqat maliyah or ibadat maliyah, the richness or the rich, that is the actual condition. So if somebody himself is eligible for taking sadaqatul fitr, how he will pay sadaqatul fitr then? Got it? And that's why all the four school of jurisprudence, once again, they have taken the mazhab of Imam Abu Hanifa into consideration. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Naseem. Just wait. Let me sit there.